The smell hit Daniel first, rich, savory, impossibly delicious. His wife Grace's jollof rice had never tasted this good. Around the dinner table in their Ikeja home, their 2 children and his mother devoured the meal. "Grace, this is amazing," his mother praised. "What's your secret?" Grace smiled sweetly. "Just love, Mama." But Daniel saw something else in her eyes. Something cold that made his stomach turn. Later, he found her counting money in the kitchen, thick bundles of naira. "Where did that come from?" he asked. She jumped, startled. "My catering business." "Why?" "We needed money for Joshua's school fees yesterday. You said we were broke. Now you're counting hundreds of thousands. What would you do if your spouse hid money while your children suffered?" Hit like and comment where you're watching from. "Business was good today," she said casually. "What catering job pays that much in one day?" "A corporate event." "Why are you questioning me?" "Because our son missed his field trip." "Because I work double shifts while you claim your business is struggling." She looked at him with contempt. "Your civil servant salary is pathetic. I've been supporting this family while you barely contribute. I give you everything I earn, and it's not enough. So yes, I found a way to make real money." "Doing what?" She smiled coldly. "Cooking. What I do best." But something in her tone made Daniel's blood run cold. Daniel couldn't sleep. The next morning, after Grace left for her catering job, he followed her. She drove to an upscale restaurant in Victoria Island. Daniel parked far away and watched her enter through the back with coolers. He waited an hour, then approached the worker on break. "My wife delivers food here." "Grace, what does she bring?" The man looked uncomfortable. "Boss, I can't discuss business." Daniel pulled out 5,000 naira. "Please." The man took the money. "Your wife? She brings bushmeat. Premium bushmeat. Rich people pay crazy money for it." "What kind of bushmeat?" "I don't ask questions. But it's always fresh, always expensive. The restaurant owner pays her well." Daniel's mind raced. Bushmeat was illegal in Lagos. If Grace was selling it, she was breaking the law. But where was she getting it? That evening, he confronted her. "You're selling bushmeat." Grace didn't deny it. "So what? It's good money. It's illegal. Only if you get caught. And I'm careful." "Where are you getting it?" "That's my business." "Grace, this is our family. If you get arrested, I won't." "Now drop it." But Daniel couldn't. The next day, he hired a private investigator. What the man discovered 3 days later made Daniel wish he'd never asked. Grace wasn't just selling bushmeat. She was selling something far worse. The investigator handed Daniel photos. Grace at night markets in Mushin, meeting with men who looked like criminals. Grace receiving packages wrapped in black plastic. Grace counting money with people who operated in shadows. "What is she buying?" Daniel asked, his voice shaking. "I couldn't get close enough. But whatever it is, it's not legal, and it's expensive." Daniel felt sick. That night, he waited until Grace was asleep, then searched her car. In the trunk, beneath a blanket, he found a cooler. Inside were packages wrapped in plastic. He opened one. The smell hit him immediately. Meat, freshly cut, still slightly frozen. But it didn't look like any animal he recognized. He took photos with his phone, then carefully rewrapped everything. The next morning, he showed the photos to a friend who worked at a veterinary clinic. His friend's face went pale. "Daniel, where did you get this? Just tell me what it is. I need to run tests, but this doesn't look like any common animal. Where's it from?" "My wife is selling it as premium bushmeat." His friend was quiet for a long moment. "Bring me a sample, quietly. Don't tell anyone else." Daniel's hands shook as he agreed. 3 days later, his friend called him, voice urgent. "Meet me now, not at the clinic, somewhere private." They met at a quiet restaurant. His friend looked terrified. "Daniel, that meat, it's not from any animal that should be sold for food. I can't say more without proper lab results, but if your wife is selling this, she's involved in something very dangerous." "What do you mean dangerous?" Daniel's voice rose. "Tell me exactly what it is." His friend looked around nervously. "I need to report this to authorities. This isn't just illegal bushmeat. This is..." He trailed off. "This could be from protected species, endangered animals, maybe worse. I can't confirm without proper testing, but the authorities need to know." "No." Daniel grabbed his arm. "If you report this, my wife goes to prison. My children lose their mother. And if she continues, more people consume something that could be harmful. Daniel, I have an ethical obligation. Give me 1 week. Let me handle this myself, please. His friend reluctantly agreed. 1 week. Then I report it whether you like it or not. That evening, Daniel confronted Grace with the photos. What is this? Her face went cold. You searched my car. Answer me. What are you selling? Meat. That's all you need to know. My friend says it's from endangered species. Maybe worse. Grace, what have you been doing? Making money. Real money. That fancy school Joshua attends. That new generator we bought. Your mother's hospital bills. Where do you think the money came from? Your pathetic government salary. Not from this. Not from breaking the law. The law. Grace laughed bitterly. The law doesn't feed our children. The law doesn't pay rent. I do what I must to survive. By poisoning people. It's not poison. It's just meat from animals rich people pretend to care about. They pay premium prices because it's exotic. Everyone wins. Everyone except the families eating it not knowing what it is. Grace's eyes flashed with anger. Those families include ours, Daniel. Or did you think that delicious jollof rice you praised came from chicken? Daniel felt his stomach heave. What? We've been eating it for months. You, me, the children, your mother. Everyone loved it. No one got sick. No one complained. You said it was the best food I'd ever made. Oh God. Daniel ran to the bathroom and vomited. Grace followed him, unmoved by his distress. Don't be dramatic. It's just meat. You fed our children. You fed my mother, without telling us what it was. Because you would have reacted exactly like this. With unnecessary panic over nothing. It's not nothing. It's illegal. It could be dangerous. We've eaten it for months with no problems. That proves it's safe. Daniel washed his face, his mind reeling. This ends now. You stop selling it, stop buying it, stop everything. Or I go to the police myself. You wouldn't dare. You destroyed this family. You already destroyed it. Grace stepped closer, her voice dropping to a threatening whisper. If you go to the police, I'll make sure everyone knows you knew about it all along. That you took the money, enjoyed the lifestyle, ate the food willingly. Who do you think they'll believe? The wife trying to feed her family, or the husband who waited months before suddenly developing a conscience? Daniel stared at his wife, seeing a stranger. This is blackmail. This is survival. Now decide, do we continue as a family, or do we both go down? Before Daniel could answer, his phone rang. His friend from the vet clinic. Daniel, the authorities are coming. I had to report it. They are heading to your house now. This story is taking a shocking turn. Hit that subscribe button. What do you think Daniel should do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Daniel's blood ran cold. What do you mean authorities are coming? I had to report it, Daniel. What your wife is selling, the lab results came back. It's worse than I thought. They're on their way. Grace's face went white as she heard. You told someone. You gave me no choice. Daniel shouted. Pack essentials. Now, we need to leave. I'm not running. Then you'll go to prison. Think about Joshua and Ruth. Grace hesitated, then ran to their bedroom. Within minutes, police sirens echoed outside. Daniel's heart pounded as he saw 3 police vehicles pull up. Grace appeared with a bag, but it was too late. Officers surrounded the house. The lead officer knocked hard. Open up. Lagos State Police. Daniel opened the door slowly. Officers, what's this about? We have a warrant to search these premises. Step aside. They pushed past him. Grace stood frozen as officers searched the house. One found the coolers in the kitchen. Another checked the car trunk. Found it, an officer called. Multiple packages of illegal meat products. The lead officer turned to Grace. Madam, you're under arrest for possession and distribution of illegal animal products. Possibly endangered species meat. I can explain, Grace started. Save it. You'll explain at the station. They handcuffed her as Joshua and Ruth watched from their bedroom doorway, crying. Daniel's mother emerged, confused and terrified. What's happening? Mama, take the children to your room, please. As police led Grace away, she looked back at Daniel with pure hatred. This is your fault. You destroyed our family. The lead officer turned to Daniel. Sir, we'll need your statement. Were you aware of your wife's activities? I just found out days ago, Daniel said carefully. I was gathering evidence when my friend reported it. The officer studied him suspiciously. Days ago. How many days? 3, maybe 4. And you didn't report it immediately. I wanted to protect my children. I thought I could convince her to stop. That's obstruction, sir. You could face charges too, Daniel's mother gasped. The children cried louder. Please, I have small kids. I made a mistake not reporting faster, but I didn't know the full extent. We'll investigate. Don't leave Lagos. We may call you for questioning. After the police left with Grace, Daniel collapsed on the couch. His mother sat beside him, trembling. Daniel, what was Grace selling? Illegal meat, Mama. From animals she shouldn't have been selling. Endangered species, maybe worse. His mother's hand flew to her mouth. The food we've been eating. Yes. She ran to the bathroom. Daniel heard her getting sick. He wanted to comfort her, but his children needed him more. He went to their room and found them huddled together on Joshua's bed. Daddy, is mommy going to jail? Ruth asked, tears streaming. I don't know, baby. Was the food bad? Are we going to get sick? Joshua asked. The doctors will check us. We'll be okay. But he didn't know if that was true. Over the next days, Daniel took his family for medical tests. The results would take a week. Meanwhile, the story hit the news. Woman arrested for selling illegal endangered animal meat appeared on every channel. Their photos were everywhere. Daniel's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Reporters, neighbors, colleagues. His boss called. Daniel, take leave until this settles. The ministry can't have this controversy. 2 weeks later, Daniel sat in a lawyer's office. Grace had called from detention, demanding he hire someone to defend her. Your wife is facing serious charges, the lawyer explained. Possession and distribution of endangered species meat. If convicted, she's looking at 5 to 10 years. Can we argue she didn't know what she was selling? The evidence suggests otherwise. She had regular suppliers, specific buyers. This was organized, not accidental. What about our children? What happens to them? That's separate. Child services may investigate your home environment. The fact that you fed the children this meat, even unknowingly, could be an issue. Daniel felt his world crumbling further. That evening, his mother approached him. I need to go back to my village, Daniel. This shame. I can't face the neighbors. Mama, please don't leave. The children need you. The children need stability. Not a grandmother who can't stop crying, who can't eat, who jumps every time someone knocks. She left the next morning. Daniel was alone with Joshua and Ruth, trying to maintain normalcy while their world fell apart. 3 days later, a woman from Child Protective Services knocked on his door. Mr. Daniel, I'm Mrs. Okonkwo. We need to assess the children's living situation. She interviewed Joshua and Ruth separately, inspected the house, asked Daniel endless questions about his income, his support system, his plans. The children seem well cared for currently, she finally said. But given the situation, their mother in detention, questionable food safety in the home, will be monitoring closely. Any sign of neglect or danger, and we'll have to intervene. After she left, Daniel broke down. He'd lost his wife to prison, his mother to shame, his job to controversy. All he had left were his children and a reputation in ruins. His phone rang. Grace's lawyer. Your wife wants to see you. She says it's urgent. Daniel visited the detention center the next day. Grace looked terrible, thinner, exhausted, her usual pride gone. Thank you for coming, she said quietly through the glass partition. The lawyer says I need to make a deal. Testify against my suppliers to reduce my sentence. Do it. If I do, they'll come after me. After our family. These aren't small people, Daniel. They are dangerous. More dangerous than you going to prison for 10 years. Grace looked down. There's something I didn't tell you. The business, it wasn't just me. Your brother Michael was involved. Daniel felt like he'd been punched. What? He connected me with the suppliers. He's been taking a cut for months. If I testify, I have to mention him. Michael. His younger brother, the one he'd helped put through school, the one he'd supported when jobs were scarce. He needed money. I needed connections. It was business. It was family betrayal, says the man who reported me to authorities. I didn't report you. My friend did because what you're selling could harm people. And now our children might lose both parents. Michael will go to prison too if I talk. Your mother will lose both her sons to scandal. Daniel wanted to scream. What do you want from me? Tell me what to do. Take the deal and destroy what's left of your family. Or keep quiet and spend 10 years in prison. You made this choice when you started selling illegal meat. You made it when you involved my brother. These are consequences of your actions. Our actions. You enjoyed the money, the lifestyle. I didn't know where it came from. Ignorance isn't innocence, Daniel. The guard announced time was up. Grace stood. I have 3 days to decide about the deal. Whatever I choose, your life will never be the same. After leaving the detention center, Daniel drove straight to his brother's house in Suralere. Michael opened the door, his face guilty before Daniel even spoke. She told you. How could you? Daniel pushed past him into the house. How could you involve my wife in illegal activity? Risk my children? I didn't force her. She came to me asking for business opportunities, and you gave her crime. It was good money. Money she used for your family. Money from selling endangered animals. Maybe worse. Do you even know what species? Michael looked away. The supplier said it was legal, just regulated. Regulated. Michael, people could get sick. Our mother ate that meat. Your niece and nephew ate it. I know. You think I don't feel guilty. Guilty enough to confess. Because Grace is making a deal. She's going to testify. Your name will come out. Michael's face went pale. She wouldn't. She has to. It's her only chance at a reduced sentence. And honestly, you deserve it. You betrayed family for money. I was desperate. My business failed. I had debts, so you dragged Grace into crime. Made her drag us all down with her. They argued for an hour. Finally, Michael admitted he'd made terrible choices. What do? We. Daniel laughed bitterly. There's no we anymore. You're on your own. When Grace testifies, you better have a good lawyer. As Daniel left, Michael called after him. At least let me explain to Mama before she hears it from police. You want to break her heart yourself. How generous. Daniel drove home, emotionally exhausted. His phone rang. The medical center. Mr. Daniel, we have your family's test results. You need to come in immediately. There has been a development. Daniel rushed to the medical center, his heart pounding. Dr. Adeyemi met him in a private office, his expression serious. Mr. Daniel, please sit down. Just tell me, are my children okay? The children are fine. You and your mother too. The tests show no immediate health risks from the meat consumption. Daniel exhaled with relief. Thank goodness. However, the doctor continued, we found something else. Your wife is pregnant. About 8 weeks. Daniel froze. What? The detention center ran standard medical tests. She's pregnant. Did you not know? No. We haven't been intimate in months. Since before I started suspecting something was wrong. The doctor was quiet, understanding dawning. I see. I'm sorry. Are you sure? Could the test be wrong? We ran it twice. She's definitely pregnant. And if you haven't been intimate in months. Daniel felt his world collapse further. Not only had Grace been selling illegal meat and involving his brother in crime, she'd been unfaithful too. Does she know? Yes. She was informed this morning. Did she say anything about the father? That's not my place to ask. But I thought you should know before making any decisions about her legal situation. Daniel drove home in a daze. Grace was pregnant with another man's child. While he worked double shifts, while he trusted her, she'd been betraying him in every possible way. His phone rang. Grace's lawyer. Mr. Daniel, your wife wants to see you urgently. She says it's about the baby. I already know. She wants to explain. She says the father is one of her suppliers. She's willing to testify against him specifically if you'll stand by her through this. Daniel laughed bitterly. Stand by her. After everything. She says she'll give you full custody of Joshua and Ruth. She'll do whatever you want regarding the baby. Just don't abandon her completely. I'll think about it. That night, Daniel sat with Joshua and Ruth, trying to find words to explain their mother might not come home for years. Daddy, when is mommy coming back? Ruth asked. I don't know, sweetheart. She made some very bad choices. She has to face consequences. Will we ever see her again? Joshua asked. Yes, we can visit her. But she won't live with us for a while. Is it because of the bad meat? Ruth's voice was small. Partly. But also because she wasn't honest with us about many things. The next morning, Daniel's boss called. Daniel, I'm sorry, but the ministry has decided to let you go. The scandal is too much. We're a government institution, we can't have this kind of publicity. But I didn't do anything wrong. Your wife used your household to distribute illegal products. Your brother was involved. It's too messy. We're giving you 3 months severance. Another blow. Daniel now had no job, a wife in detention pregnant with another man's child, a brother facing criminal charges, and 2 traumatized children depending on him. His mother called from the village. "Daniel, people here are talking. They are saying terrible things about our family. Your uncle wants to know if you need money. Tell uncle I appreciate it, but we're managing. Don't be proud. Pride won't feed Joshua and Ruth." She was right. That afternoon, Daniel swallowed his pride and called his uncle. "Uncle, I need help. Just temporary, until I find new work." "Of course, my boy. Family helps family. I'll send money tomorrow. But Daniel, you need to make a decision about Grace." "What decision?" "Whether you're divorcing her or standing by her. People need to know where you stand." "She's pregnant with another man's child, uncle." His uncle was quiet for a long moment. "Then you have your answer. Divorce her, quickly and cleanly. Don't let her drag you down further. But the children will be better off with a father who has dignity than with parents in a scandal-ridden marriage." Daniel spent the next week consulting with lawyers about divorce. The proceedings would be complicated by Grace's detention and pregnancy. "You have strong grounds," his lawyer explained. "Infidelity, criminal activity, deception. You likely get full custody of your children. What about the baby she's carrying? Not your responsibility unless you choose to claim it. Given it's not biologically yours, you have no legal obligation. And if she wants me to raise it, that's your choice. But I'd advise against it. You're already struggling financially with 2 children and no job." Daniel knew the lawyer was right. But he thought about an innocent baby being born into this mess, potentially growing up without a father. Meanwhile, Grace's trial date approached. Her lawyer had negotiated a deal. She'd testify against her suppliers in exchange for a reduced sentence of 3 years instead of 10. But she needed Daniel to agree to care for the baby she was carrying. "I can't do this alone," she told him during another detention visit. "Please, Daniel, whatever I've done, this baby is innocent. So are Joshua and Ruth. They're innocent, and you destroyed their stability. I know. I'm begging you, take the baby when it's born. Give it to my sister, to your mother, to anyone. Just don't let it go into the system. You want me to raise your lover's child. I want my child to have a chance at a decent life. You're a good man, Daniel. Better than I deserved. You're right about that. Will you think about it?" "I don't know." 3 days later, Grace testified. The courtroom was packed with media. She named names, described operations, provided evidence against 5 major suppliers of illegal animal products. The man she identified as the baby's father, a businessman named Richard, was arrested that same day. Don't miss what happens next. Make sure you're subscribed. Should Daniel take responsibility for Grace's baby? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. After Grace's testimony, Richard's family approached Daniel. They were wealthy, influential people from Ikoyi. Richard's mother, Mrs. Williams, called requesting a meeting. They met at a neutral location, a hotel in Victoria Island. Mrs. Williams came with a lawyer. "Mr. Daniel, thank you for seeing us. This situation is uncomfortable for everyone. That's one way to put it. My son made terrible mistakes, but we'd like to take responsibility for the child your wife is carrying." Daniel hadn't expected this. "You want custody. We want to ensure the child is cared for. You have 2 children already and no job. We have resources. It makes sense. Your son is going to prison for selling illegal animal products, which is why the child needs a stable home. We can provide that. And you think I'll just hand over a baby? We are prepared to compensate you. 100,000 naira monthly for Joshua and Ruth's expenses. In exchange, you let us raise the baby when it's born." Daniel was torn. The money would help desperately, but giving away a baby felt wrong, even if it wasn't his. "I need to think about it. We need an answer before the birth, 4 months from now." After they left, Daniel called his mother to explain. She had strong opinions. "Take the money. That baby isn't your responsibility. Let the rich family deal with their son's mess." "But Mama, it's Grace's child too. Grace chose her path. You choose yours. Think about Joshua and Ruth. Think about feeding them, schooling them, giving them stability. That 100,000 monthly could change everything." His uncle agreed when Daniel called him. "This is the answer to your problems. Take it." But something in Daniel resisted. That night, he lay awake thinking about the baby, innocent, unwanted by its mother who'd be in prison, claimed by a father's family who saw it as an obligation rather than a blessing. Daniel visited Grace one final time before making his decision. Richard's family offered money if I let them raise the baby. Grace's face fell. They don't want the baby. They want to hide their shame. They'll hire nannies, ship the child off to boarding school. The baby will have money but no love. And what would the baby have with me? A broke father raising his ex-wife's child from an affair. A chance at a real family. Joshua and Ruth would be siblings to the baby. My sister could help. Your mother could come back. You're asking too much. I know, but I'm asking anyway. Daniel left without committing. That week, he finally found a new job, not prestigious like his government position, but honest work at a private company. The salary was less, but it was something. He also received his severance pay from the ministry. For the first time in months, he could breathe slightly easier. His mother returned from the village, ready to help with the children. His uncle sent additional support. Slowly, painfully, their family began to stabilize. Then Grace's sister Patricia called. Daniel, I've been thinking. If you don't want to raise the baby, I will. Grace is my sister, and despite everything, family is family. I can't have children of my own. This baby would be a blessing. Daniel met with Patricia. She was sincere, kind, married to a good man who supported the idea. We'd let Joshua and Ruth visit. We'd make sure the baby knows their siblings. This doesn't have to be a tragedy. Daniel felt relief wash over him. This was the answer, a solution where the baby would be loved, where Grace's family would take responsibility, where he could focus on healing his own children. Yes, when the baby is born, you can raise it. Patricia cried with gratitude. Thank you, you're giving this child a real chance. 6 months passed. Grace was sentenced to 3 years in prison with possibility of early release for good behavior. The baby, a girl, was born healthy and immediately placed with Patricia and her husband. Daniel attended the birth, not for Grace, but to ensure the baby had family present. Grace held her daughter for only an hour before prison guards took her back to detention. Her name is Hope, Grace whispered to Daniel. Please tell Patricia I chose Hope. I will. And Daniel, thank you for everything, for being better than I deserved. He nodded and left without another word. The divorce was finalized 2 weeks later. Daniel received full custody of Joshua and Ruth. Grace signed away all parental rights willingly, understanding she'd lost the privilege of motherhood through her choices. Life slowly normalized. Daniel's new job became steady work. His mother stayed permanently, helping with the children. Joshua and Ruth attended therapy to process their trauma. Daddy, Ruth asked one evening, can we visit baby Hope? If Auntie Patricia says yes. They visited monthly. Joshua and Ruth adored their baby sister, and Patricia ensured they stayed connected. Grace's suppliers went to trial. Richard received 5 years. Others received longer sentences. The illegal meat operation was shut down across Lagos. Daniel's brother Michael received 2 years for his involvement. Their mother visited him in prison once, then refused to go again. He made his choice, she said bitterly. He must live with consequences. A year after the scandal broke, Daniel was finally able to reflect on everything that had happened. His marriage had been built on lies. His wife had prioritized money over family, had betrayed him in every possible way. But through it all, he'd chosen integrity. His children were healing. His job was honest work. His reputation was slowly rebuilding. 2 years after Grace's imprisonment, Daniel received a letter from her. Dear Daniel, I know I have no right to contact you, but I wanted you to know I've been taking classes in prison, business management, cooking courses that teach legal, ethical practices. I'm trying to become someone different. I've also been attending counseling. I'm learning why I made the choices I made, the greed, the lies, the betrayal. None of it was worth losing my family. I hear from Patricia that Hope is beautiful, that Joshua and Ruth love her, that you've allowed them to maintain a relationship. Thank you for that, Grace. I don't ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to be better, Grace. Daniel read the letter twice, then filed it away. He wasn't ready to respond, might never be, but he appreciated knowing she was trying to change. Meanwhile, Joshua had grown into a thoughtful teenager. Dad, I've been thinking, what Mom did was wrong, but she's still our mother. Should we visit her? Do you want to? I don't know. Part of me is angry. Part of me misses her. Part of me doesn't know how to feel. Those are all valid feelings. Take your time deciding. Ruth, now 12, had different feelings. I don't want to see her. She lied to us. She fed us bad food. She hurt our family. That's also valid, sweetheart. Daniel never forced his children either way. He let them process their feelings at their own pace. His mother had her own opinions. She doesn't deserve their visits. Let her sit in that cell alone thinking about what she did. Mama, she's still their mother. A mother protects her children. She poisoned them. Unknowingly giving them questionable meat isn't the same as deliberately poisoning it. It's close enough. But despite his mother's anger, Daniel found himself thinking about Grace's letter, about redemption and second chances. 3 months before Grace's scheduled release, Daniel received a call from the prison chaplain. Mr. Daniel, your ex-wife has been a model prisoner. She's completed multiple rehabilitation programs. However, she has nowhere to go when she's released. Her family has largely disowned her except for Patricia. What are you asking me? Nothing specific. Just informing you of her situation. She'll need employment, housing, support to reintegrate. Without it, many inmates return to crime. After hanging up, Daniel struggled with the decision before him. Grace had destroyed their family, but did he want her homeless and desperate upon release? He called Patricia. Have you heard from Grace about her release plans? She asked if she could stay with us temporarily. I said yes, but my husband is uncomfortable. He's worried about the influence on Hope. I understand. Daniel, I know you owe Grace nothing, but she's really changed. I visited her. She's different, humbler, more aware, genuinely remorseful. Different enough to trust again. I don't know, but different enough to deserve a chance. Daniel spent a week thinking. Finally, he made a decision. He contacted a friend who owned a small restaurant in Yoba. I know someone who needs work. She made terrible mistakes, but she's trained in cooking and business management. Would you interview her? What kind of mistakes? Legal troubles. But she served her time. His friend agreed to meet Grace after her release. Daniel also contacted a halfway house that helped former inmates transition. He paid 3 months' rent for Grace to stay there while she rebuilt her life. When he told his mother what he'd done, she was furious. You're helping the woman who destroyed our family. I'm helping the mother of my children have a chance at redemption. She doesn't deserve your kindness. Maybe not, but I deserve to be the kind of person who shows mercy. Grace was released on a Tuesday morning. Daniel didn't attend, but Patricia did, bringing Hope, now a beautiful 2-year-old, to meet her birth mother. Grace held Hope and cried for 30 minutes. Patricia sent Daniel a photo. He showed it to Joshua and Ruth. That's baby Hope with Mom, Ruth said softly. Do you think Mom will be good now? I hope so, Daniel answered honestly. But hope isn't enough. She has to prove it through actions. Grace started working at the restaurant Daniel's friend owned. She began in the kitchen doing prep work, then gradually took on more responsibility. She attended counseling weekly. She lived quietly in the halfway house, avoiding her old contacts, rebuilding slowly. After 3 months, she asked through Patricia if she could see Joshua and Ruth. Daniel gathered his children. Your mother wants to visit. It's your choice whether you want to see her. Joshua said yes. Ruth said no. Daniel respected both decisions. The meeting happened at a park, neutral territory. Daniel stayed nearby but gave Joshua and Grace space to talk. He watched from a distance as Grace hugged their son, crying. They sat on a bench for an hour, talking. When Joshua returned to Daniel, his eyes were red. She apologized. Really apologized. She said she understood if I never forgave her, but she wanted me to know she was sorry. How do you feel? Confused, sad, but also, maybe a little hopeful. 6 months later, Ruth agreed to see Grace too. The reunion was more awkward, Ruth more guarded, but it happened. Grace never asked to come back into their lives fully. She understood that bridge was burned, but she asked for small things, occasional visits, phone calls, the chance to prove she'd changed. Daniel allowed it, cautiously, always prioritizing his children's emotional safety. 5 years after the scandal broke, Daniel stood in his living room watching Joshua graduate secondary school. Ruth was thriving in junior secondary. Hope, now 5, visited every few weeks with Patricia. Grace had become a restaurant manager, living in her own small apartment in Yoba. She'd rebuilt her life through honest work. She attended every school event she was allowed to, always sitting in the back, never presuming she had a right to be front and center. Michael had been released from prison and moved to Abuja, starting over where people didn't know his past. The family was scattered but functional. That evening, Grace approached Daniel at Joshua's graduation party. Thank you for not giving up on redemption. Not mine specifically, but the concept of it. We all make mistakes. Yours were bigger than most, but everyone deserves a chance to be better. I'll spend the rest of my life proving I've changed. Not to win you back, I know that's impossible, but to show Joshua and Ruth that people can learn from terrible mistakes. They are watching. Make sure your actions match your words. As Grace left, Daniel's mother approached. You're more forgiving than I could ever be. Not forgiving, Mama. Just choosing not to let bitterness poison what's left of our family. Your father would be proud. You kept your integrity through everything. That night, Daniel tucked Ruth into bed. She asked the question she'd been asking since she was 8. Dad, why did you help Mom even after everything she did? Because holding on to anger would have hurt me more than it hurt her. And because I wanted you and Joshua to see that we can be better than our worst moments. Years later, Daniel would look back on this period as the hardest of his life. But also as the time he learned that strength wasn't about revenge, it was about choosing integrity even when betrayed, showing mercy even when wrong, and rebuilding with truth even after everything burned down. Thank you for following this powerful journey. If this story impacted you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. What lesson resonated most with you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this story with someone who needs to hear that redemption is possible, but consequences are real. Remember, integrity matters more than revenge, and the choices we make in our darkest moments define who we truly are.